Hello everyone, welcome in. It's that time again, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you must be new here. And hello, I am Erin. I do nutritional oracle card readings. They are weekly readings. They are for the collective, and what I do is get an energy that we'll be dealing with for the week. I will find the messages that the universe has for us, and I'll wrap them all up in a pretty little package and offer them to you with some food suggestions and some nutritional advice that will help you to support your body, mind, and soul, basically, so that you can be happy, be joyful, get through your week with less stress, right? Know what you need so you're good to go. So if that sounds like it's for you, go ahead and give me a like if you feel inclined to do so. You can subscribe to the channel and you can ring the little bell if you want to be notified when we come out with the new videos every Sunday. And I always say we, but it's me, and I'll come out with the videos. So yeah, now if you do know what I'm talking about, because you're returning, well, thank you for doing that. I appreciate it, and I hope that you all had a delightful week. I hope that you were able to use some of the information that came out in your reading last week. It was a good one, and we're working on October 12th through October 18th, 2020. Yeah, all right. So I'm excited to see where this is going to go today, so I think that we should get moving and grooving. All right, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and start with finding out what the energy for the week will be so that we kind of have a starting point. Let's see what's going on this week. So we have number 7, a deep breath. Ooh, that's a pretty card. It's a pretty card, but it's a deep card. So this is talking about several different things, but what stands out to me is being in the fight or flight mode. So kind of dealing with like your primitive instincts, your survival, your security. And also it is, what stands out to me here as well is that you, or some of you, doesn't have to be all of you, it is a general reading, so take what resonates here. Some of you have a real expectation, like you really feel danger, like there is something that is going to put you in harm's way, and it doesn't necessarily mean that there is like something bad is going to happen to you. What I'm feeling with this is there is some red flags that some of you have been getting, maybe dealing with something from the past, an experience that you have been through before, a lesson that was learned, right? But for whatever reason, it's come to you again. It's coming at you again, and it's like right? But you're having a difficult time figuring out, like, not going towards it, right? You're going down the road that will lead you right into that path again, and you don't want to be there. So just know with that, take a deep breath and think about it, because you have the power to choose a different road. You don't have to drive down that road. So just turn around or turn the corner and go a different direction, all right? It was a lesson learned that you don't need to learn again. It's time for you to be in the driver's seat and make a better choice, okay? So that's for some of you. I know that, now I think there is more to this too. But let's go ahead, and this is more like comfort zone kind of thing. Some others of you, this is more going to be just like a sense of security, like you feel fear for a different reason. So let's get some cards here. I'm going to get this Starseed card. notes because that's what happened. That's what came out. That's what needed to come to play today. All right, so the blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, and integration time. Oof. Okay. So I'm sure that if you already know a lot about the oracle kinds of things and tarot and all of that, you probably are aware of what an awakening is. So an activation, right? So probably I think for quite a few of you, this is the case. I feel like there's a lot going on in the world right now anyway, and everybody's being affected in one way or another. And there's a lot of people who are just like waking up, right? Seeing what's happening, realizing that there needs to be a change and things need to be different. So there are lots of people waking up, and some of you very well could be in that situation. And I think that is kind of what we're talking about here when I'm talking about the fear and your sense of security. Like, this is outside, you don't know what's happening. And people always think that this is like, oh, yay, awakening. But it is not always fun, right? It's not always like, oh, it's so beautiful. Like, you could start seeing, like, kind of vision things, or things come into your mind. Just stuff starts happening, and you're not really sure how to integrate it. You have different thoughts, you have different feelings. It could be very much outside of what you are used to or what you believed, and things are really changing. And it can be hard to manage that. It can be hard to integrate that into your life. And once it happens, it's not like it's just going to go away, right? So it's not like you can just be like, oh, well, it's fine. I'll deal with it next month, right? And it's like, no, sorry, that's not what's going to happen. So I feel that we're going to be looking at two different kinds of situations where we are just generally in a sense of fear because we're out of our comfort zone and we're not secure in what's happening, and we're going to need help there. And also that we are going down a wrong road and we could possibly be putting ourselves in danger. It doesn't mean physical harm or something like that, but in danger of really having some heavy consequences attached to it that we really are not looking to get into that situation. That's not something you want to be, somewhere you want to be. It's not what you want to deal with, okay? So, and then I also had another one that I wanted to look at with this, and it's jump in. Adrenaline, energy, adventure, say yes to change. Okay. So this is like exactly right. Jump in. This is an adventure, and it's not always pretty. Okay. It's not always going to be smooth sailing, but life is an adventure. This is why you're here, is to experience life's adventures, to live it to its fullest, to, be able to experience as much as you can that you were called here to do, right? You're going to be able to do those things, but you're going to have to know that things are changing. Things are going to change. They are changing. The best way that you can handle that type of thing is to be like, I'm just saying yes to change. I'm gonna grab it by the horns. I'm gonna wrestle with it a little bit and figure out where it fits into my life, and then I'm gonna flow with it, right? I'm gonna see where it takes me. I'm going to find a happy balance where it makes sense in my life, and I'm going to, and also by going through some of the hard times with this, if that does happen, doesn't mean it's going to happen to everybody, but if you do come across some bumpy roads, this is really going to give you the experience of, having to work through some tough times and know what it takes to, still get to where you are going and where you want to be. There's nothing wrong with working hard for the things that you want, or there's nothing wrong with having to go through certain experiences so that you have those, because maybe you're supposed to help other people in those types of situations. And it doesn't, and like I said, it doesn't mean that it's going to be something bad that's going to happen to you, right? But there are bumps in the road along the way, and they're not always pretty, and they're not always fun, and they're not always a super easy, fast fix. Sometimes it takes integration. Sometimes it takes understanding. Sometimes it takes being out of your comfort zone and realizing that yes, there is fear, and it's not that it's a bad thing. It's just you don't want to let that fear be the one that's in control. Love it, tell it thank you, because fear does help to keep us safe. There are instances when the fear needs to keep us safe. It's a warning system, right? And then that gives us a chance to decide if it's something that we should still go after or not. So I feel like a lot of you are you're really fatigued. I think we're going to have to be looking at like the adrenals and stuff. Like, you're just, because there's different types of like the fatigue, like, yeah, there's stressors and things like that, but when you constantly have that adrenaline running through your body, it is exhausting, and it takes days to recover from, and it could take even weeks to recover from, depending on how worn out you are. So I'm really feeling like that we're going to have to do some really good work here. All right, so anyway, let's move on just a little bit. So these are pretty heavy, right? That's a lot to think about. And so let's just kind of keep it light for the rest. And let's do some of these. Let's do our fairy oracles today for some more information. We got a little extra. We got 3 that came out. I was going to do 2, but 3 came out, so that's what it's going to be. That's what it needs to be. So we have wish wisely. Use your wishes wisely to manifest your heart's desire and take practical steps towards making your dreams come true. Okay. I think that's a kind of a reminder. That's sort of what we've been hearing a little bit the last couple of weeks. I think this is a reminder to be like, don't forget. Yes, things are happening. There's things going on. Oops, I'm moving. No moving. We're trying to manifest our life here. We're trying to live the life of our dreams. We're trying to put some stuff together, right? This is reminding us that we're still manifesting, and we need to take the steps, practical steps, towards making our dreams come true. Because even though a lot of this stuff is going on, we still live in the physical, right? We still have to deal with the practicality nature of certain situations, and that's still going to come up in our everyday life, right? We can't just fly away. Okay, and then we have fairy spotting. It's time to go fairy spotting. It's said that seeing is believing, but in fact the opposite is true. Believing is seeing. Okay, I'm feeling that maybe some of you, the people that are experiencing maybe this awakening, and it doesn't necessarily just have to deal with awakening. Like maybe, it's just, you're becoming more in, maybe you're noticing, right? Like maybe you've always had these like little flashes that are in the corner of your eye, or you see movement places, you smell certain smells, things like that, and maybe you just haven't noticed before for some of you. But then there is the other part that are like literally having an awakening experience, and like I said, you could be getting the visions, you could be smelling the smells, you could be seeing the flashes, things like that, and it hadn't happened to you before, and it's starting to. That can make you a little bit uncertain. Let's go to this and then we'll come back because there's more. Okay, so magical gateway. It takes courage and trust to venture into the unknown, yet this is where the greatest rewards are. It's time to step boldly forward without looking back. Okay, and we're talking about the magical gateway. We're talking about awakening. We're talking about jumping in and taking that adventure. And this is also too, this card talks about like cellular healing, like the healing on a DNA type level, like some change really happening. When there's like say yes to change, this card is not just talking about, yes, thank you, I'm going to have an adventure. It's like also talking about cellular and DNA health on that type of level. So I think that we're going to be looking at that also. And we're really dealing a lot with the whole magical thing. Like magic is coming up all over the place, right? Making your dreams come true, the magical gateway, seeing fairies, right? Okay, so, and I'm really seeing a lot of like the blue and the violet along with some of the green. And I think I'm kind of feeling what's happening here also is there's a realization happening in some of you that you realize that you have that spiritual or higher kind of self, and you also, I think you're realizing that the spiritual and the earth needs to come together in order for these manifestations to happen, in order for you to do your purpose here on earth, in order for you to hold space for people and be and shine your light and do what you are supposed to do here. I feel like that is really coming on strong right now, and there's a realization that there's the spiritual and it mixes with the earth, with the physical, and that's what's manifesting. That's what manifesting is. That's how your dreams come true. So I think this is like, that's a reminder, because we've been talking a little bit about, and now we're really getting into, okay, but you gotta, this is the magic. Now you gotta believe in the magic. Because yeah, there's magic all around us. We can see it every day. You know, beautiful flowers, the things that happen in the stars, rainbows. There's magic that happens all the time. And I think we're realizing now is that there's magic in us. We have the magic inside us. And we're not talking about just some foo-foo stuff. We're talking about manifesting real live joy into our lives and the things that we want, and some real stuff going down, right? Like this, I think I think we're realizing this. And it's maybe been a long time coming for some people, and it might be a surprise for others, okay? So, that this is exciting though, like, realizing the magic and seeing the magic, and a new adventure coming your way, right? I mean, I'm excited. It could be scary, sure, but that's when we gotta have a support system, right? This is a lot of information, and I know exactly what I want to talk about here. And so I'm gonna better have a self-care card. Let's do a self-care card. So we got movement. We are really going to need to have something to do with our body, especially if we have like adrenaline pumping in our bodies often, because we're always on high alert, and we haven't figured out how to turn that off. If you have, when those courses of adrenaline start running through your bloodstream, and you don't have a place to like get that physical energy out and let it run its course as quickly as possible, and it stays in there too long, like, it has serious effects. And at least we can lessen those effects on the body if we can have some type of movement. So if you do experience like the racing heartbeat, the sweating, your blood sugar could be going bananas, things like that, then try to do some kind of movement that will help you to, like a brisk walk, something like that, that will help you to move that adrenaline through your bloodstream faster. Because when animals like are out in the wild and they have that fight or flight, because they literally have to do it or die, right? They're moving, and so it calms down. If you're sitting in your car because you have road rage, if you're sitting at a desk being pissed off at somebody at work because they're, not pulling their weight, or you feel like you're doing everything, or whatever is happening in your life that's making you feel, like you're in that mode all the time, then you're not having a release of that, and you need to, okay? And that's going to help, like I said, lessen those effects, and also to maybe give you an avenue to help relieve some of that stress, all right? And we'll talk a little bit more about this too, because this is going to be really important. The universe has your back card, because the universe has our back, and we need to hear it today. Right? There's a lot of stuff going on. And this is, I believe I'm worthy of feeling good. I believe you're worthy of feeling good. I want you to feel good. Well, that's the whole reason for these nutritional oracle card readings, right? Like I most definitely want people to feel good and to understand the power that good nutrition and good food has on your body. It's imperative that we are able to get down to that cellular level. Our cells are responsible for pretty much everything that happens to us in the very beginning, right? Everything's built upon it. So, yes, and I believe I'm worthy of feeling good. And I think that that would be something for you to maybe think about a couple times during the day and maybe even say it as an affirmation. I believe I'm worthy of feeling good. Okay? Because this is not a bad thing, all right? So I know what I'm going to do, and I want you to remember this. I believe I'm worthy of feeling good. This is very important for you to know because you are worthy, or you wouldn't be here, right? Why would we be here if we weren't worthy of being here? And you know, it's okay. You are worthy. You're worthy of the new adventure. You're worthy of the magic inside yourself coming out and being set free and taking you to places that you have not been before that are very exciting and maybe even allow you to have a fresh start on life. And because I feel for some of you that's needed, just an overhaul, okay? An overhaul. You've got some fresh new stuff coming in, and it's scary as all get out, but you know what? It's okay. You've got it because you're worthy, all right? So let's go ahead and end the reading here, and then I will see you guys in just a few moments, and we will do the nutritional portion of our video. All right, I'll see you guys in just a moment. All right, welcome back, and welcome to the nutritional portion of the video. That was a pretty good reading. There's a lot of stuff going on this week. We have a lot of things to think about. So I did want to just say one thing too that came to my mind when I was wrapping things up, and I just thought I'd save it for this portion. But I think part of what we are going to be asked to do this week is to not only work on these things that I'm saying, but I think we need to work on our feelings. Okay, I saw a couple of things stand out to me, and I was like, feelings, emotions, connecting our feelings, connecting our emotions to what's happening around us. Because sometimes when we're talking about the fight or flight and we're on high alert all the time, it's very easy to become numb, right? You literally don't have the difference between emotions. It's all just kind of the same, like frazzled. All right, so we want to get back in touch with our feelings, with our emotions, because we need to know the difference between what we like and what we don't like. So if we're headed down that road, right, and we want to turn around, then we want to be like, no thank you. I've been there, I've done that, and I'm not doing it again. I know better, right? The only way, the really easy way for us to be able to tell that is to, yeah, we're going to have some fear and we're going to have some red flags. Fear is going to be there, okay? Especially if you're frazzled and all your other emotions are gone, the fear will be there. Don't worry about that. It won't go away, okay? You can put it in the back seat. You can tell it thank you. You can let it have a little nap or whatever, but that won't go away. But if you can get your feelings and your emotions to be where you're at, and know the difference between how you feel about something, then you'll be able to easily navigate what's going to be in your best interest and what's not, what you love and what you don't love so much, right? What you need right now, what you don't need. Okay, so we need to get in touch with those feelings, and the movement is going to be key for that. I really feel that if we can go outside, and don't worry about like getting the exercise so much, because you'll get the exercise and that's fine, but it's not exercise, it's movement, right? We're talking about the movement thing, connecting a feeling with the movement. feeling how it feels to move a certain way, to be with your feet on the ground and do certain movements with your body. And if you like it, if it's not really something you enjoy, but at least you know. I think that's really going to be key, keeping those stressors low. We're going to have to reduce the stressors in a way, and I'm not just talking about, getting a bad email. I'm talking about the toxic, like chemical loads, things of that nature. Everything's got a bunch of chemicals in it. We're exposed to it constantly. Even, our computer screens, our phone screens, it all has a chemical load on us that breaks down our immune system and causes us stress in our bodies. And stress in our bodies is going to make that response come from those adrenal glands, which is a good segue for me to get into the adrenal glands, because that's what I kind of want to talk about next. Because the adrenal glands they make that they do a lot of things, but what we're talking about right now is the part of the adrenal glands that actually make the adrenaline, and that's the hormone that's giving you that fight or flight. Okay, you got the adrenaline and the noradrenaline giving you that effect, and the way to mitigate that is to reduce the stress load by getting a good night's sleep. Okay, and I know it's not easy to sleep when you're so stressed out all the time. Even though you could be really fatigued and really tired, that doesn't mean you're going to get a good night's sleep, right? So the best way to do that is shut off your blue screen things, TVs, phones, computers, read a book for a couple of hours or something like that, or chit chat with your family or whatever for a couple of hours, and let your body register that it's not time to be up and on. It's time to calm down and get ready for bed. And make the environment where you're sleeping, your bedroom, your bed, the decor, the sheets, do what you can to make it beautiful, to make it inviting, to make you want to be there, to just feel comforted. That goes a long way in, if there's a bunch of cluttery stuff in there and it's dirty and, you just haven't paid a lot of attention to it lately because there's just too much going on, or even if it is clean and it's just kind of barren and there's not really very much decor in there, but you like things to be beautiful, or you just want a change of pace, like see if you can zhuzh it up a little bit and make it look beautiful for you, because it's going to be important for you to be in. That's going to be another thing of feeling and emotion, and bringing that into your life now is to see the beauty in things and to take care to have things be beautiful. There's nothing wrong with having beautiful things. There's nothing wrong with liking to sleep in a bed that's got some nice sheets. I'm not gonna sleep on rough things if I don't have to. If I can have some nice sheets in there, then I'm doing it. And I do have nice sheets in my bedroom, because that's important to me and it makes me feel good. So what's important to you and makes you feel good, you need to do that. Also, I think that's pretty good for the adrenals, because most of what that's going to be is really reducing that toxic load, getting a good night's sleep, and maybe adding some things in. Oh, you know what? Like laughing. Boy, I'll tell you what, laughing is a great stress reducer and can really help put things in perspective sometimes, if you really just, sometimes you're like, oh, ha ha, but if you really let it go and you really just like laugh it out, sometimes it's just like, did I need to get worked up about that? Was it important for me to have the reaction that I did that caused my body to like get all frazzled, and now I'm laughing about it? Like, maybe I just need to relax a little bit, right? Take a breath. That's like the card we got, a deep breath. I think that's a good thing to remember when things start to happen. If we can get to the point to where we can take a moment to breathe in and breathe out fully, I think that will go a long way to help us realize if it's worth it for us to put our body through that stress one more time, right? And I know it can be hard when it's already going and there's so many things going on, and there is a lot of things going on in the world right now that's affecting everybody, and it's not easy. It's not an easy time right now to be having this kind of an experience that you want to make changes, right? But it will be for the better. I just know it. And I believe in you guys. I just know it can happen. I know you're going to do it. But I think some things that can help you also with your stress for food-wise is getting adequate amount of vitamin C. That can kind of help your immune system. It's going to help with some of the inflammation. You can get it from eating food, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, red and green bell peppers, some spinach. You can do all kinds of lovely things with all of those veggies. Citrus fruits, of course, has the vitamin C as well, so there you go. That's a lot of different things you can do with that. And then also you can try licorice root, and be careful of the licorice root if you have high blood pressure or like blood sugar issues. Sometimes that can have a negative effect on it. So if you do have those issues and you do want to try licorice root, excuse me, wow. And you do want to try the licorice root, maybe just check with your physician and see if it's okay. I have done the licorice root before, and I do enjoy that. Okay, so the licorice root works great, all right? And then ginseng can also it's a great herb to help you out in that department as well. Essential oils are really good for stress. I like to have them in my bedroom also. I really like lavender a lot. I never used to, but boy, I really like it now. So if there's something that I'm saying here that you haven't liked in the past, you might want to revisit that, because our bodies needs change all the time. And I've noticed that when my body changes or when something new happens, I'll all of a sudden start liking something I never liked before. So if there's something that I'm listing, you might want to try it again. The essential oils are the lavender. I like the lavender. Rose works well. Citrus type oils, clary sage, those all work really well. And if you guys, I know there's a bunch of oilies out there, so if you guys have other oils that work well, you can leave them in the comments and let us know what you guys are using, okay? That would be awesome. I would like to know that. And then flower essences. Okay. Look them up if you don't know what they are. I have a little bit of experience with them. I kind of fluttered around with them just a teeny tiny bit when I was in school, and they're magnificent. They are a wonderful thing. I wished I kind of would have got more into it, but I don't know. I guess it wasn't time yet. Maybe I'll look into it now, right? But I did have a couple of experiences when we were using them that they really do help, especially when you're dealing with like past things that come up from your past, traumas that happened that have really rooted into you that you're having a hard time releasing. Those flower essences can really help. So like I said, I don't know a whole lot about them, but I do know enough to know that they work. So, but you can go and look them up. The Bach flower essences are the ones I believe that I used. There's a whole book on it. You can get the book. The book's not even expensive. And the flower essences, you can go on and you can read about, and it will tell you what you need to know. And like I said, if you're really into it, you can get like the book and read more about it, so you can have some of that wonderfulness in your life. But they are really wonderful. I really like them, and I'll probably actually end up getting some because I've just worked myself up about it, and now I must have them. Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about for just a moment, because I know I've been keeping you guys here a minute, is cellular health, because one of those cards was talking about cellular health and DNA healing and being fit on a cellular level. And I think that is really important, because our cells are basically what makes us. Our cells make our tissues produce the organs, our organs make the systems, and the cells hold our DNA, right? Which is basically us. And if you don't have properly functioning cells, or if they are easily damaged, then that DNA can start to get damaged enough to where, it changes what the DNA is telling you to be, right? And we don't want to do that, because we want to be us. We want to be our best possible us's. And so it's going to be important to keep those cells healthy. And really, keeping the stressors down is going to go a long way, okay? And not only keeping the stressors down, but eating that really nutrient, a diet really good in nutrients, because our cells need to absorb those nutrients. The nutrients is what are going to make our cells, right? The fats are going to make our cell membrane. It's going to decide how squishy it is, how permeable it is, if things are going to be able to, if the nutrients are going to be able to get in and the wastes are going to be able to get out. And if you're eating the wrong kind of fats, like we talked about the trans fats, right? The trans fats, those nasty hydrogenated oils and fats, we don't want those. It can make your cell membranes like not movable, okay? Like really rigid, and nothing's getting in and nothing's getting out. At least not what needs to be happening. So we want to be able for the nutrients to get in. We want the wastes to go out. We want the proteins to be able to attach to the cells because they're our transporters. We want our mitochondria that are in our cells. That's our energy. That's where most of the body's energy is produced, is in the mitochondria in your cells. We want those to be healthy. Because we need the energy, right? And the best way to do that is to eat a good diet. Don't eat the sugar, don't drink the alcohol, which I don't know if I said it, but the sugar and the alcohol is going to be a bad deal if you're dealing with adrenal issues, okay? I know that it would be nice to have a piece of cake and a cocktail when you had a bad day, but the less sugar and alcohol you ingest, the better, because we're trying to get our cells back in shape. And the only way to do that is to take out our bad diet, because we are what we absorb. And we want to have good nutrition. We want to be our best possible selves. Okay, so we talked about the membrane, right? We talked about that we need the proteins, and you need some carbs too, right? The carbs are important. We have to have all of those things in order for everything to stay healthy. And funny enough, but the same things that we use for our adrenals to be healthy can be said for the cellular health as well, right? So I would maybe add in like berries. Berries are pretty good. Strawberries sometimes don't work well with people with blood sugar issues. I usually like the blueberries, the blackberries, the raspberries. Those are kind of my go-to for the berry family. It's great antioxidants, right? Because sometimes we can get bombarded with free radicals, and those cause damage in us, right? And if we don't have enough of the good stuff to combat the bad stuff, and the bad stuff overtakes us and makes us age faster, it breaks down our body functions faster, and we want to not deal with that right now because we got other things going on. So we'll combat that with some berries, okay? Some good antioxidants, and it can help with inflammation as well, and cellular repair, right? And I think I said broccoli already. We can get that for the vitamin C, but it also helps with enzyme production too, which is important for your cells, all right? And ginger is a good one. We've talked about ginger before. It can help with inflammation. We like ginger. And then to get those fatty acids, you can eat like the fatty fishes like salmon. You can eat nuts and seeds if they're tolerated by you. That's going to give you the fats that you need to make that beautiful, permeable cell membrane, right? And yeah, and I think that is pretty much it. Like, that's a lot of information this time. So watch the video again if you need to, or just whatever stood out to you and was like, oh, I want to do that. Pick one or two things. You don't have to take them all. I gave there was a couple of very different kind of situations that I felt like needed to be addressed. So what resonated with you, take, but don't feel like you have to do the whole thing, okay? Because we're not trying to stress you out more, right? This is to be therapeutic and healing, not to be more stressful and make you feel bad about what you're doing and like you can't keep up and you're already not keeping up, okay? This is a therapeutic and healing in a supportive community, all right? You're not doing anything wrong, so take what resonates with you, take what makes sense, take one thing, take two things, don't matter. Okay, whatever you feel like you can handle and do is good. And remember, you can ask me questions in the comments. You can say hi. You can put your little truths in there if you need to that are nice and supportive for other people. If you have some lovely, beautiful things to say to the community, that's okay by me. And I think that that's pretty much it. So if you liked this, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring the bell if you want to be notified when I put the videos out on Sundays. And what else? Oh, share this with somebody if you think that they could use it. These situations are kind of rough, so if you think if there was something in here that somebody could hear, share it with a friend so they can hear it too. All right, guys. I hope you have a wonderful week. And of course, I'm going to send you healing energy. I got to send you some love. Gotta send you some love and a big hug this time. Big hug. Don't stress, right? You got this, and I believe in you guys, and I'm proud of you guys. So keep up the good work, and let me know how you're doing in the comments, and I'll see you all next week. Have a great one. All right. Bye for now.